Welcome back to a brand new episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits. And today I have a very special guest joining me all the way from MAFS, Australia, and currently hosting their podcast. It is the glorious Lucinda Light.
Yeah!
Welcome!
Hello, gorgeous Liv.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks so much for having me, you
This
beautiful
is our
lady.
second podcast together. So we first met on the MAFS podcast, which, by the way, I'm fascinated to know if any of those couples we thought would be together ended up together.
Oh, look, I think we only maybe got Devani and Julia Ruth right when we were doing the little birdies.
Yeah. And the Daily Mail now says differently about their situation, doesn't it?
Everybody else we mismatched. And I think you can find our episode
And
on
watch it
YouTube.
back.
You can watch it on YouTube.
I shouldn't say this, what's the older couple called?
So they were called Anisha and Paul.
And they're still together? I need to catch up with
we
it.
also guessed them, of course.
You guessed them and got them right.
So they're out.
They're
they
out.
left within the first week.
Did they?
They did. So they wanted, look, Paul was very honest. He said, I don't know what love means. I'm here to find out. It's an experiment.
Yeah.
And Anita was like, I know what I want. I want a marriage. I want
Yeah.
a husband. I've got no time to waste. And he was like this sort of jokey, jovial fella. And I think it just fell on deaf ears for poor Anisha. She just didn't get all the jokey jokes.
Oh,
so.
I think that's quite brave, though, to actually walk out and just leave it, because you sort of have, not that you show self-respect, because I think everyone does, but to not bother continuing it, because I would imagine a lot of people feel the pressure to stay there and actually complete it.
I agree. I think it was very earnest of them. They both agreed
Yeah.
it was time to go. And it was a teary farewell.
Was it?
Because they were both really lovely in their
Yeah.
own respective way. But just I think it wasn't a match, and she particularly knew it, and just, they both called it. It was quite, oh gosh, hello
sorry,
Tiger.
Lucinda's showing her private parts. Everyone be careful.
This is private
This
parts,
is.
my gosh. It's a whifty...
No, you look lovely, by the way, bringing the style and the glamour. I'm here in my Converse, my socks that look like bandages around my ankles. Okay, no, I want to go back to your time on MAFS.
Okay, let's do it.
So start from the beginning. So you get approached.
Yes. No, I didn't get approached. I actually saw it on social media, the ad, and went for it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it wasn't an approach. I approached them.
And was it sort of, had you been single for a while? Were you just thinking, let's just give this a go?
Well, in 2023, I actually dated a woman for the first time.
Really?
For 9 months. So I called her my lady tradie. She was just awesome.
My lady tradie.
My
I really
lady
like
tradie.
that.
You've got to give these things
Yeah.
a go once in a lifetime. And when did I actually apply for it? About 6 months or 9 months after I broke up with her, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm not a television watcher. A lot of
Okay.
people will know this in my community. I haven't owned a television for 20 years.
What?
And it came up on my social media. Do you want a husband? Do you want to be on television? I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. And I was quite ignorant. I thought, oh, cute little Aussie show. You know. Little did I know this juggernaut
One of the
of a
best
show.
shows out there.
That sold to 100 countries around the world.
Oh my God.
And particularly, I didn't know that it was massive in the UK at the time of applying.
Yeah.
And it just led, one thing to the other. And to be honest, I was quite broke in Byron Bay as well. I was in the gig economy. I was an MC, celebrant, small community, loved it
Is
there.
that what you were, a celebrant?
Yes, I'm a celebrant.
God,
So
you are fascinating.
And I was living totally outside of my means in
Yeah.
a beautiful home just by the ocean in one of the most expensive places to live in Australia. And we'd sort of come out of COVID and things were sort of coming back slowly, and I'd started this new business and I was running a dating agency I started called Soulful Speed Dating. So I'd travel up and down the east coast of Australia activating these celebrations, teaching people how to flirt, to date, and these immersive experiences.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Where, I have, got marriages and babies out of that. So anyway, this business was, it was good, but I just wasn't fully in the economical, financial stability that I wanted to be in. And this just felt like a wild, ridiculous opportunity to not only find a husband, because I get a little bit wrapped up in the fantasy of that. Like, oh, wow, 55,000 people apply for this, and maybe they will do an amazing job of trying their best if I really am clear with them about what I want, on my manifesto, my manifesto. And and also to get eyes on my celebrant and MC business, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I mean, otherwise you're just on the dating apps, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you put yourself on the public chopping block? And I know that's really cheeky to say, but
I know what you mean.
it is truthful. And so, it was just wild. I mean, so that sort of
And then you got
that.
the call up. God, that's quite
A couple of months later, was married in Gold Coast to a guy that I was just like, hubba, check this one out. Let's go.
Wait, I want to quickly so when they ask you what your sort of preference is this a long list? Do you put like really detailed everything?
Look, I didn't. And I'm continually refining and working on this list of mine of the life partner that I'd love to be in. I'm a huge believer in being in co-creation with the universe.
Yeah.
And, keeping that dialogue open, keeping that, joy and deciding what I want in my life and the energy and the frequency that I want to be with. So, I wrote it on a scroll, on a piano, a pianola, a scroll no less, and just sort of really, funny and tall and kind and emotionally intelligent and somebody that, was up for the flexibility of just having an adventure.
And you wouldn't have considered marrying a woman, just a guy?
No, well, sadly, within that 9-month incredible experience, I really decided that I'm very hetero.
Strictly dickly.
Strictly dickly, I like that. I mean, look, I would still be, there.
Yeah.
I mean, she would have been the most amazing life partner ever. But I really came to that conclusion that it's probably not for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
but I'm still glad I gave it a go.
Listen, I think everyone should try everything. You never really know. And so on the list, do you put things that you really don't want in someone?
I just think it's great to articulate what you really do want.
Yeah.
I think the universe responds better with that. Although saying that, what I got paired with,
but this is the thing,
was quite different to what I really
because I think
wanted.
This when I watch it, there are certain things that people say they're into and they're not, and then when you see who they get matched with, you're like, well, hang on a minute, they've got absolutely fuck all in common. And so I'm like, how have they come to this conclusion? So with your guy, what was your guy called?
So his name was Tim Smith.
Tim Smith. And explain when you say...
Timothy Smith.
Timothy Smith.
Well, let me tell you about Tim. So, I mean, he's your big Aussie, spunky hunk. Like
instant
this chunky,
attraction.
Instant attraction, funny guy, very likeable guy. But day one, on our wedding day, I realised that he was pretty sore in his heart. All of his family had passed, died. I soon found out, about a week into the experiment, that he'd actually been an ex-prisoner. He'd been in prison. He was a drug mule. He used to ride a helicopter between Mexico and Canada, sort of shuffling drugs.
Oh, sorry.
In and out. So he'd been in high maximum prisons in the States.
And he's allowed on TV?
No, but what happened is that Current Affairs in Australia program actually popped it out the day after MAFS Australia totally finished. You can find it on the internet. It's like a 90-minute special.
Sorry, I'm sort of speechless. So you'd married a drug mule?
Well, look, 17 years prior he had been. But he just had a bit of a tough life. Like his beautiful mum, who he adored, passed while he was in prison.
Jesus.
His brother committed suicide, which was devastating, while he was in prison.
Yeah.
6 weeks or 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks before he actually married me, on the show, his father had passed. So there was a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of...
What was his reasoning for doing the show?
I actually think Married at First Sight had been chasing him for a couple of years because he just made great television. Yeah. He was just a really interesting character. I think one of his lines that's quite famous is, I've got more baggage than Qantas. He's like, Cream of the crop, he just had some really wicked, he did make me laugh.
Really?
And I think there was nothing more to lose. His dad had passed, he was single, they'd been chasing him for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And he was just like, let's go.
And then so after the marriage, was it, because it obviously didn't last, not last, but what was it actually like?
Look, it was pretty tough. Within the experiment, I was thinking to myself, what's my karma here? Like, I felt a bit humiliated often within it and was very challenged because I felt quite rejected and that he wasn't really attracted to me. Well, most of the experiment, he was in the room next door sleeping on the couch, God bless him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was up for trying at all the different angles and giving it a go, but we were quite different people, and I early on realised actually that he just needed quite a bit of space to process a lot that was going on for him personally.
Do you think it's because he may have not actually just been ready generally, like it was probably he had so much going on mentally?
Probably.
That's quite
But
tough.
look, it was an interesting story arc, ours, and it was an adventure, and I'm so grateful for it eternally. I'm grateful for him saying, yes, stay every week.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't leave until the week before final
really?
vows.
That's pretty good then, actually, to show that you sort of, like, he did try.
Yeah, he did. And, there was moments where I'd, like, hold on to hope. Like, there was one dinner party we were just sort of hanging out and he just, like, kissed me there on the lips. I was like, what? Like, it was just this moment that was just so random. And then soon after that, he just sort of had a bit of a meltdown, just feeling his loss and hurt. And it was a journey.
For you to take on, though, as well as trying to also have a marriage, essentially. Do you know what I mean? When you take on someone else's baggage, and it sounds like he's got quite a lot.
We'd have little breakthroughs. I mean, he used to call them breakdowns, but I there were breakthroughs like at retreat, and I loved when he'd sort of be vulnerable and open up. And we did have a laugh. We would enjoy ourselves on weekends, and I think we did create quite a lovely friendship by the end. Unfortunately, that sort of came undone after the experiment.
You just haven't spoken since, really?
Well, look, we were friends, for a while, and certainly as Married at First Sight was aired and shown, we'd support each other. We'd ring each other every day.
What's
through
the time
that.
lapse between when it's filmed and when it airs?
So we finish in November.
Yeah.
And then it airs in January. So they need about 2 months to edit up. There's a window
the whole
there.
Thing. Okay, fine.
And that's when you're just sort of sitting there going, oh, God, this is Russian roulette. How the hell is my edit going to go? And the first couple of days of me watching, I was just under the blanket.
Really?
Going, oh, my God, I'm batshit crazy. My friend came with her, chicken wing, doing a bit of a sacrificial chicken, ceremony at the wedding. I mean, I am a bit of a, part of me is a bit spiritual, but I'm a very pragmatic, common sense person too. So I think they thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be interesting in the beginning, but I think my pragmatism.
What was your initial feedback from people?
Oh, well, in the beginning it was just like, oh my God, who's this? But yeah, it's a very interesting experience, and I know that you've had this too, being, on all the shows you've been on, but...
your situation is way harder, my God. I mean, I struggle sitting through dinner parties with some of those people, let alone living with them the whole time.
Well, I find it fascinating, just the variety of people, and everyone's got their own medicine to give and give, and, I've always loved and been in the fascination of people.
I find people remarkable and fascinating as well. And like, the one person, I know she wasn't your series, but is Wacky Jackie.
Oh.
She's a phenomenal creature.
Absolutely. Wacky Jackie, just unapologetically her.
But was there any moment that you watched back and you thought, of yourself, that you thought, hang on, that wasn't me, or that's edited in a way that I don't think I did that?
Look, I've got to be honest, and I think I got a very good edit.
Oh, really?
They really decided to showcase all my best bits.
Yeah.
So I got very blessed, because I think some of my best work on the show was heckling on the couch at the commitment ceremonies. And that never made one cut. Never made the edit. I think everyone would have got a much more rounded perspective of the smarty pants that I can be at times. But, you know, it never made it on. So, look, that's been an interesting journey as well in the aftermath of coming out of a show that just showcases that's Lucinda, and then sometimes feeling the pressure to uphold that sort of image, because I'm like, oh God, you know, half the time I'm walking down to the gym in my socks and sandals. You're looking like a right mess, or just feeling, you know, I don't
because you are such a ray of light. Like, honestly, I said this after we
have
did
my
the
moments.
podcast. But you're just so, like, you have very happy energy. It's very nice.
Look, I am a happy person. You know, it is my default to be quite positive. But, like, I am as human as the rest of us and as flawed as the rest of us. And I definitely have my moments. And sometimes I, you know, bump into fans and I think, oh, God, you poor thing. Like, I've probably disappointed. You know what it's like? Sometimes you're just not quite
mine's
in that
normally people
moment.
going, oi, it's Liv Bentley, and I'm like, I'm not really like that, to be honest, but that's sort of what I think they think I'm Jack the Lad.
But see how television can project and broadcast, and that's why I think it's really important to have a candid conversation and get into the nitty gritty. And
did you think before you'd ever have done TV? Like, was it ever a thing that you had wanted to pursue?
Do you know, it is funny, when I was a little kid, and it's taken my brother to remind me of this, but I used to say for the longest time, I want to be a TV star.
Really?
And then I forgot about it for most of my life.
Yeah.
But I've done amateur theatre, and, you know, I was a Victoria State debater. I've always done
You've done some pretty amazing things.
I've always done speaking sort of things, and had such a passion for drama, you know, as a kid. It's not that I'm an actor. I'm definitely not. But, you know, I love reality in that you can be yourself, or I love the hosting role or highlighting others. Or, you know, it does sort of make sense that I'm in this arena. I do enjoy it.
Because you could technically go on to be one of the professionals now, couldn't you?
Will I? Look, I mean, who knows? You know what it's like. We're in the gig economy, and you're only as good as the last job that you ever do. And right now I feel like I'm just experimenting. I'm just checking out the industry, taking it in my stride, figuring out where I sort of fit in it. I've never been a podcast host. This is the first, you know, occasionally reading an what is it, an auto?
Can I tell you something? Lucinda did it flawlessly. I would be absolutely buggered if
You're
had
doing
a thing.
it.
I mean, I read one line, but if I had to read it, I struggle reading the dilemmas.
Well, it's just the intro
not
and
easy.
it's the intro and outro. But, you know, I recently was in Cyprus and did the Honesty Box, which was a Channel 4 show.
Yeah.
And I was the sincerity coach in that. And with that, there was a little bit of earpiece with the producers. That was a new experience. So all of it's just sort of such an honour. Yeah. And I'm just trying it on for size, seeing what fits, and we'll, you know, play it by ear. Simultaneously, I'm not that attached. I'd be as happy, and I really mean this, as a barefoot barista living in Byron on the beach.
Really?
I would. Like, I'm just at that stage and age that, you know, what is meant to be mine's not going to pass me by, and I want a lovely, relaxed life.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm massively ambitious. I just want to enjoy life and the opportunities that come my way.
But that's how it should be.
I'll do my best on.
Oh, I think that you're such an inspiration. No, because I was then going to go on to ask you about your sort of where you're at dating.
That's an interesting one. Look, I've been a little bit too busy to date in the last year and a half, but I'm starting to get my feelers out there a bit. I did a couple of laps of Hinge a month ago when I first arrived in London.
Anyone special?
Well, I did pluck out one that I've sort of created a friendship with, and that's been nice. But I'm still just having a look around. I went to a dating evening the other day. It's called Cocktails and Conversations.
Oh, yeah.
With a friend. What else have I got going on in the dating swirl?
No, because I hate when people actually ask about dating, because I get it all the time, like, why are you not married with kids? But it's so refreshing to speak to someone whose life is not about it, because I feel at the moment dating's ferocious.
I'd like a lover in the Australian continent and one in London. And
You see, perfect.
do you know what I mean? Something, maybe just a bit of like international polyamory. You know, with no
Sounds like heaven, really, and then you just sack off the small talk.
Well, you know, but also I have to have the emotional connection. Like, it has to be somebody I really enjoy and have a friendship with. But I'm just not sure with my lifestyle now.
If it fits in. It's admin. I'll be honest there. It's hard work, I think, having a relationship.
It's a tricky one. Look, I'm still really holding hope for it to find my person. If I'm completely honest, I would love to find my person.
I'm sure you will when the time's right. I'm a big believer in timing. I don't know why I've become one of those people who thinks, I think everything happens for a reason. But I do just think, because I get a lot of messages from girls who are sort of, I think that when you hit 30, it's a hard age because everyone's kind of going one way or the other. And people think it's sort of like they're doomed for it. And I'm like, are you fucking joking? Like, 30's like, once you hit 30, everything just gets better. I think, I'm only 31, but like, I think, I don't know.
And I believe, hurtling toward 50 at almost 46, that life begins in your 40s.
See, everyone does say this.
I loved 30s, but 40s are even more amazing. And then I've got loads of friends in their 50s that they're just like, you just wait.
Really?
You know, and the ones that have finished menopause that are like, as you start to, you know, really invert that energy that we can link as women, you know, as you're menstruating, etc., the power that you can gather. Like, Forbes put an article out recently, women who reach their career potential are all, like, most women that absolutely peak are over 55 in their career. Yeah, and there was an amazing article in Forbes about it. So we're just like,
listen,
really
the future's
rocking it.
bright. Everyone needs to stop panicking, I think.
The best is yet to come.
That's what I always think.
And we've got to really cultivate that amazing positive mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at my mum, who's my biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And she's living her best life at 76.
Really?
Like, absolutely loving this decade of 70s.
Amazing.
And, you know, the community around her and the involvement, and she's created that. I mean, obviously it's the efforts you put in and, you know, that inspired action toward. But we write our destiny, and
100%.
And all the choices we make, you know, matter. So, you know, why focus on the weeds when you can be focusing on the flowers and what's beautiful and where you want to be going, setting your sail and just, you know, living your best life. Why
Honestly,
not?
this is like life coach stuff. I mean, you've made me feel, not that I was having a bad day, but I feel positive about everything.
Oh, well, you know, life is but a mirror, you know, so we've got to be clearing and cleaning out our attitude and our thoughts, and our words are spells.
Yeah.
Of course they are. So we've got to be casting the best spells for life
100%.
and for ourselves.
When you were on MAFS, is there anything that or what was the biggest thing that you felt you learnt about yourself?
It's a bit awkward to say and it's a little bit cringy, but I think in the beginning I was maybe too full on.
Okay.
And I think what's really important is to just set that foundation of friendship and trust first.
Before
really? I think I was a bit too full on. I was like, oh yeah, we're married. Sleeves rolled up, let's go. And it was just a bit much for him. So that was hard for me.
But do you think did you end up toning yourself down? That you ended up not really being yourself, or do you think you were you through and through?
I was definitely myself, but I think I just got better at reading the room and really attuning to his energy and what was needed. But yeah, I just think now, I mean, particularly in my 40s now, that I want my life partner to be my best friend, and then I can just banter and enjoy, and it's got humour, and we're just on that vibe, and I'm not going to make the mistake that I have in my 20s and 30s, which is what comes my way and I'm attracted to, I jump in. Yeah. I've had 7 relationships, pretty deep ones too.
Really?
And it's because I've just gone, okay, let's go, and I haven't really checked in with, like, what are they after in their life? What are their needs? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want their life to look like? And how is that aligned with me? You know, like, let's just relax and enjoy each other and see.
But did it take you a while to get to a point where you realised that that's actually what was happening instead of just jumping into a relationship? Because I think that's quite common, is that someone shows interest and you're like, great, I'm with you.
Yes.
But then you don't really think about the other things, or like...
Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
But now at this stage, and what I've learned from MAFS and all of it is actually I just want to really get to know somebody before I commit in that way. Because the next thing you know, you're so deep and in love, and the fracture happens because you want completely different things.
Depending on what age you are, you want different things, right? So, like, I wasn't really sure whether I wanted kids or not. The older you get, the different things become more important to you. Like, what would you say that is the most important thing to you now?
Look, I just want to have a really happy life. That's really important. Like, just feel really supported and... you know, whether that's friends, family, but, you know, just that precious living well, a lovely lifestyle. If I need to zip off to London and do a little project, high five, let's go to Italy for the weekend, or, you know, we're living, in, you know, in a little beach shack, and it doesn't need to be elaborate. You know, the simpler the better for me, the less moving parts, but I just want to live well, have good adventures, be able to eat good, fresh, organic food if I want to.
Live a wholesome fucking life, really,
wholesome
to be honest.
Life. That is precisely it. Yeah.
With MAFS, but when, is there a lot of stuff that wasn't aired, that went on, or big rows, or anything that you were like...
So let me tell you that 1 minute out of every 300 minutes is used. So you can imagine all the stuff that doesn't get used. What I used to get sad about when I watched it back, and I did love the journey, but was just all the laughs that we would have.
Really?
Like sometimes we would just be wetting our pants with just fits of laughter over something that Lauren had said, who was hilarious, or, you know, Andy, or whatever it was, but me on the couch heckling. But yeah, I was a bit like, oh, you know, the funniest bits
whereas
never
they
made
want
it.
the dramatic.
Well, because if it's not about your relationships, it doesn't make it on. It's so condensedly about relating. It's a relationship show.
Yeah.
Somebody actually said to me, no, it's not a relationship show, it's a popularity show. It's about character development. But look, I mean, everyone's got an opinion. You know that saying, opinions are like arseholes, everyone's got one. I
love that meme.
There's a myriad of opinions about it. But I mean, I think succinctly it is about relationships. And if we're not in dialogue, commenting on other or being in relationship with each other, it just doesn't make it on. So, of course, all those little bits about life and nuance and funnies, all of that just
They don't give a shit about any of that.
Yeah.
They want the screaming and the shouting at the dinner parties.
Wouldn't you love all the, like, to make an uncut?
I would, the blooper reel. I used to say it's about Made in Chelsea. I would love the moments where people, like, look down the lens and go, you fucking twat, or, like, just,
I think
so many things.
There would be a market for that.
There must be.
There would be a huge audienceship that would love to see what never got edited on these shows.
Great.
Same.
Yeah, were there any big arguments that sort of... Because living in... You know when you're in the apartments, is it one massive apartment, you're all just on different floors?
Yes, no. We all lived in the Sky Suites, all on the 8th floor. So we all had apartments on one floor, including an AP, somebody that sort of overlooked. And, well, they did a 24-hour shift, 7 to 7 or 7 a.m. to 7. Look, there was one argument that me and Tim had that, oh, God, this dress just wants... It's just all about the private parts, you know?
The aircon.
Yeah, I mean, there was one argument that was pretty hectic that...
You were involved in?
Yeah, well, I mean, Tim was really upset at me and he felt that I had run him under the bus from the evening before commitment ceremony because I had said, I don't feel like he's showing me affection or naturally wants to reach out and grab my hand, and he felt really upset about that. But
upset because he knew it was true, or?
Well, I mean, it was true. I was sort of just answering the experts' questions, but the next morning he really exploded, and that was never shown. I mean, that's just an example of
how did you deal with the sort of like, not rejection, but the way he was with you? Like, did you, because that's a lot to sort of not put a brave face on every day, but have to actually just get on with it.
That's it. I mean, you're in this experiment. It's such a once in a lifetime opportunity. So you've got to put your big girl pants on.
Yeah.
And just forgive, forget, move on, try from another angle, figure it out, try and give another bid for love and affect. I mean, it was just every day was like, okay, let's try again today. So
Were there any moments that you felt you wanted to leave?
Oh, many.
Really? Did you consider actually walking out?
There was quite a few times where I actually said, I can't do this anymore.
What kept you?
I suppose that again, that once in a lifetime, come on, get over yourself, trying to shatter my ego, just going, gosh, just get over yourself. Like it's like he's got his own pains and pangs and his own, background that he's coming from, his own perspective, and just move through, like figure it out. I'd have to give myself little internal chats to kind of go like,
I just don't know
show
if I
up.
could do it, I just don't have the balls. I think I'd find it too hard. As long as you could smoke it. Well, at least if there was a terrace, I'd be chain smoking. That's the only way I'd get through it, to be honest with you.
It's an intense experiment. It's not for the faint-hearted. And what I don't think I could have been any younger doing it. Like I was at the age and stage at 43 that I could stand my sacred ground and hold my own and hold my values. And even if I was being rejected, that didn't determine my self-worth or take anything away from me.
Because
I could hold that.
That's quite amazing to be able to be like that. Because I think where I maybe have struggled, and not to make this about me, in relationships is I end up dropping my values and morals for the person that I'm with and then end up not being who I am.
And I've done that.
It's hard though not to.
Of course it is. And I think we all do that in our 20s and 30s. But I think you get to a stage and an age where you're quite uncompromising about that. And I have got to say, I feel really sorry and I get really protective, I suppose, of a lot of 20s and 30s that go on these massive reality television shows and they don't quite know themselves yet. They're still trying to figure it out. They're still in the soul search. I've been there, I know.
Yeah.
And they can be very manipulated and they can be very swayed in a big experiment like this. They can be made quite easily to look like a fool or a villain because they say the wrong thing and, put their foot in it. And I think, at the end of the day, you can always see people's humanity. And when you're in the experiment, everybody is quite rounded and a good person with good intentions.
Yeah.
But they can be stitched up. And it can ruin lives. Of course it can.
Has anyone come away from it that's actually had a really bad backlash?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I can only know from my own season and some really dear friends of mine that were getting death threats and heavy bullying online. And, of course, there's many, many cases of reality television stars. Not many, but there's a good dozen out there of reality television stars taking their lives.
Oh, yeah, it's
from the backlash. It can be pretty vile. Even somebody like me who's had a pretty good edit and can hold my own and it's a bit of a water off a duck's back. I've heard everything under the planet about who I am and this and that. And I actually find it quite interesting. Half the time I agree with them. I know what you mean. I kind of see where you're coming from with that. Like, oh, God, her voice, and she sounds like this, and, I'm like, I get it.
I hate to say the word. No, I don't hate to say the word, but people can be cunts. Like, there's just no way around it, really.
We can all be a bit cunty.
Yeah. We can. But some people, I just think, Jesus. It is mental, but no, I think...
Sometimes it's really interesting,
Oh, when I used to be a heavy boozer on a Sunday morning, my favourite thing was reading trolls and then trolling them back. And then I'd feel the shame and I'd have to delete it.
You've got to have a thick skin. And I live by the rules of the Mexican Toltec tradition, and it's from the 4 agreements. So it's... If we agreed to these 4 agreements, there's actually 5, but I'll give you the 4. Okay. If we agreed to these 4 agreements, all of humanity would be fine. So one is being impeccable with our word.
Yeah.
The other one is doing our best at all times, which changes if you're sick or if you're menstruating or if you're having a crappy day.
Yeah.
But just do your best with what you've got in that moment. The other one is to never assume anything about anyone, because everyone's got their own real thoughts. But the fourth one, which I think if we all learnt this and got this in every cell of our body, we would be so liberated, and that's to not take anything personally.
Yeah.
To never take anything personally is one of the best things we can learn having this human experience.
100%.
Because everyone's projecting their own, and half the time it's from within them.
Yeah.
If someone sees a crappy aspect of you, it's often a disowned part of themselves.
So it is so true, actually. But then with things like social media, people feel they've got a voice for everything.
But do I really care what Shirley in Oakley thinks about my size feet, or like it's just, okay, Shirls, like next.
Shirley, go fuck yourself. That's my sort of response. Oh, God.
It's just like, oh, come on, I don't think you and I make it a sport to get on and attack people that are in the public eye.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. I mean, listen, I've
got better things to do.
I actually do. I've got lube to sell. But I've watched, I obviously watch TV, but I wouldn't for one moment consider picking up my phone and going, well, you look like shit today, which is a comment I used to get a lot. What's the youngest couple that's ever gone on Married at First Sight?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Ooh, I don't know, but I feel like maybe they've got a rule there and it's got to be over 24.
Is it? Okay.
I think I vaguely heard that, but not from a steady source.
Yeah.
I think it was just passing conversation.
And with the actual marriage thing, so you're not, in terms of like certification, how does the marriage actually work? So if the marriage doesn't last, it's only just a piece of paper. There's no like...
There's no legalities to it. It's all for the television. It's just a ceremony. I mean, being a celebrant myself.
Yes, well, I want to get into this.
We need 30 days to register a relationship. We also need consent from the two parties. We need witnesses. We need to do some legal paperwork. Yeah. So it's not, this is all just sort of fanfare for the fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing legal about it. Oh,
I want to hear, because you are a holistic counsellor.
I'm not a practicing holistic counsellor, but certainly everything that I learned, becoming a holistic counsellor is just woven through.
What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's just space holding for people, like a counsellor.
Yeah.
But we also learn some amazing transpersonal tools, whether it's dream analysis or art therapy.
That. What does a dream mean if, firstly, this one I used to have a lot, was going to school and I had no clothes on? I was naked. And that haunted me for a really long time. Has anyone else ever had that dream? It can't just be me. Okay, fine, it's just me. What about when your teeth fall out? Yeah.
Interesting.
What is that one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would never say to you what the meaning is, but I you can do a session with a dream analysis and just asking the right questions, you would come to your own meaning. I feel that's the best way to do it. Because we're such meaning makers as humans.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's got their own, their consciousness or, the subconscious. Like, yes, dreams come with messages, that can reveal themes or, just little messages to help you through to navigate existence. Yeah. And we would do a thorough session in order to help you reveal that and make your own meaning is what I'm saying. I get very suspicious of people that say, this is what it means for you, because I think it can mean different things for everyone.
I'm going to call it a nightmare. Being pregnant, as in a dream, and I've woken up sweating going, touching my stomach, make sure I'm not, but that's a common one, isn't it?
So you're a big dreamer.
Yeah, I think when I was a big drinker, I was like, used to be. Yeah, I am a big dreamer.
Okay.
And weirdly, when I'm hormonal, it's even worse.
Interesting.
Along with the night sweats.
Do you ever write your dreams down?
If I remember them.
Okay. Because that's a really good practice to get into when you remember. Or you can even pick up your phone and just record it, even if you're sort of half whacked, but just record it. And I mean, the unconscious stream of thought. You can do this on paper or in a recording. But just start, just making a bit of meaning of it yourself, just sort of, being curious, sort of, and in that dream, half wake, half dream state, it's a very interesting thing to do, to pick up your recorder and just speak into it. This is the dream, and I think this means that, and Like, just kind of figure it out yourself. That's just a little tool that you could try.
I am going to try that.
If you have an interesting dream.
I don't know if I want to write them down and then Google it, because I'll probably be told something bizarre, like I'm a psychopath. I keep seeing that as well. Does anyone else see that? Anyone who can fall asleep watching murder documentaries is a psychopath. Me. Yeah, definitely.
See, I don't put any of that stuff in my... I'm very particular about the media that I consume.
Really?
Also the company I keep. I don't want any of that stuff in my consciousness.
Have you always been like this way inclined, or do you think over the years you've just realised what fills your soul and what doesn't?
Yes. Yep.
I saw a meme.
It's good to notice. It's good to notice what makes you feel good.
Yeah, no, sorry, say that again. I saw a meme this morning. It said, if he's not good for your soul, he's not going near your hole. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Lucinda.
No, get it out there.
What is good for your soul? Yeah, no, but so what? Yeah, but do you think there was a specific point in time where you suddenly realised that actually there were certain things that just weren't making you happy and working for you?
I mean, look, Mum says that I was a pretty happy kid and a little bit Disneyland and a bit way with the fairies. Like, it maybe is a little bit me too. You know, there's a bit of me in that has always chased the light and the fun and the good and the joy. And so there's a bit of that. But of course, I've had my miserable points. I've suffered from depression a couple of times after deep heartbreak, where it's just, I've gone into the biggest hole. In 2018, I had the biggest one that lasted a couple of years.
Really?
And I severely hurt my back at that time and actually spent 8 months in my bed doing ambulance trips. And I was quite incapacitated physically, but had a bit of a breakdown too. And in that, it was quite hard to be a positive mindset. Yeah. It was. And I just had to keep sort of reaching to the deepest crevices of me to find little sparks to try and move me forward. That's where I became a celebrant. I did the course and I just thought, this is something to pivot, because I was a body worker before that. I was a holistic counselor and
a body worker.
So helping people move through their emotions somatically through the body, deep body work. Right. I'm a kahuna practitioner actually. So using elbows,
your CV
forearms.
is phenomenal. I've never heard anything like this.
You know, yoga, I'm sort of, was a yoga teacher and, the holistic counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few incarnations. I was a tour leader as well in Asia for years, taking people on adventure holidays.
Oh my
all
God.
Over Asia, which is, but I mean, look, you'll be the same by the time you're my age.
I really hope to have achieved half the stuff you've done.
You've just got to say yes, don't you, to the opportunities, mix it up.
Yeah, that is true.
If you're stagnant, try and pivot, do something else. That we're here for the adventure to live our best lives.
100%.
And I think you just got to do what lights you up and intuitively find your own way.
Is your real name Lucinda Light?
No, it's Lucinda Riley actually. And about 12 years ago, a friend of mine, because Lucinda means light.
Right.
It's Latin for light. And Lucinda actually means like the sparkle on the champagne and the light, that sparkle. And my friend turned around to me in a moment at a festival and went, Lucinda Light. And it just went, poof, 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 poof. Like it was like I was gifted this soul name in this moment and it just stuck. But, in a couple of my depressed moments, I was seriously considering about becoming Lucinda Dark. A couple of moments on the journey where I'm like, I do not deserve this name.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you, when you've gone through heartache, and for anyone listening who potentially is, what would you say the one bit of advice is to give to someone?
Whether that's grief from losing a parent or a love, it's never easy, even if it's not right, Yeah. But I think it's just trusting that this too will pass. There's a divine timing. Dig and inquire about yourself in those moments of heartache. You don't have that dependency of other supporting you, so you've got to go to the trenches to support yourself. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for those moments.
And you've written a book?
Yes.
Tell me all about it.
So yeah, early this year, my book Shine Your Light came out with HarperCollins. They were my publishing agency.
Amazing.
And what it is, it's a journal to deepen your emotional intelligence. So I come along, it's a bit biographical.
Yeah.
I really share my life, my background, what's going on for me. And then I come along the journey as I'm asking you questions and to sort of extrapolate and go into all of your stuff, knowing thyself, the relationships you have with other, and shining your light on like a legacy. And it's dotted with all my drawings, my illustrations.
Amazing.
And people have been getting a lot out of it. It's accompanied by some soundtracks I've made. I've done the audio version. And I'm writing my next book at the moment.
Oh my God, amazing.
Actually, I'm writing two, but they're going to be sporadically because I'm going to tour next year, all in the UK and Ireland.
Incredible.
Which will come with my second book. But I'm still figuring out whether I want to do Dating Divinely, which is a one-stop shop about dating, and my soulful speed dating, bringing this experience all around the UK, or the other one, which is Exquisite Things You Really Must Know, which is another emotional intelligent dive, but more in a living oracle, like affirmations, whispers from the village, like really getting into the intricacies of things you must know that are really going to help you be the best human that you can be. So I'm sort of working on these two projects.
Both sound amazing.
Yeah, because I toured last year. I did 26 shows with my one-woman show.
Oh my God, I need to come to this.
Well, that was called An Evening with Lucinda Light. It's definitely finished now.
No, the next one.
I did a lot of shows. By the end, I was like dizzy. I just couldn't.
And so how does the show work? You just sit there and you just talk?
It was storytelling. So it was storytelling. It was immersion. It was there was a Q&A, but it was really going into my life, the pivot points. It was cut into three sections, like what's really helped me. Play. I indoctrinated everybody into the religion of play. I had a whole section on flipping the script and like being positive and turning things around and how to do that and how it's worked for me.
I think it's a unique skill, by the way, because not everyone is positive. And I think actually, and this is not, I particularly won't personally hang out with certain people that I find negative because I find they suck the life out of things.
It can be draining.
It's exhausting. And there are certain people that I look at sometimes and I'm just thinking, God, they almost enjoy living in a rut.
Yeah, and like bless them. Like I hope they find salvation. But yeah, curating your, you really want to be around people that you're inspired by, that you love taking advice from, that you think are rocking it in their life.
100%.
Like they're the predominant people you want to hang with because you grow in that, don't you? There's some old friends that I have and like they're treasures too, and maybe they're not on that frequency of whatever, but there's still a value in that. Or there might be a family member that's having a rough time. Like you still do have people that are having a rough time in your field. I think it's good to stick around really interesting, positive, inspiring people.
Current season of MAFS, I am not fully up to date, but what has been going on?
What hasn't been going on?
It's a juicy one, this one.
It's a juicy one. We've had a couple of couples leave. So more recently was Dean and Sarah. Dean was the rapper.
Yeah. You know what? He was so sweet.
He's really sweet. Super sweet. We've had 3 intruder couples, of course.
That's always when it starts getting rude.
A couple of them are just classics, like Reese. We just recently had him on the podcast and he's just a cracker, like very funny. Abigail and John, I think they are one of my picks to be an absolute couple that will last for longevity.
Were they on it from the beginning?
No, they're an intruder couple.
Okay.
And they're both really smiley and they just seem to be on the same frequency. You know, whether it's your frequency or not, I think they've really found each other.
Yeah.
I think they're gorgeous and I think they will last.
Is there anyone that you might suspect is not on it for the right reasons?
It's a hard question, that one. I think everyone genuinely is looking for love.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, it's TV. So
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's, in their own right, a bit of a, influencer or a business person or, got some reason to sort of want.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd just be on Tinder, wouldn't you?
Any couple you're surprised hasn't really been working out?
It's been very sad to watch Maeve and Joe call it.
I haven't caught up with this, but I really like them.
So they are fantastic. They're both divine. I think we were really excited by them. Joe threw out the love word. You know, he said, I really love Maeve on the couch. And the next week, he lost his granddad, went to the funeral, had a bit of space away. They also had in-laws week, where his mother was genuinely concerned about their 2-hour distance.
Got you.
And that she's got a child. And I think he went away and got some perspective. But, of course, Maeve just felt really out of the loop.
Yeah.
He didn't communicate with her. And then he came in late to the retreat and, you know, their communication style's very different. Joe's quite level-headed.
Yeah.
And Maeve, God bless her, she's gorgeous, but she sort of goes 0 to hero on the emotions, and I just don't think that's his shtick. And she's got every right to feel upset and to, you know, that's her way. She's very impassioned. Joe means the world to her.
Yeah.
She's so excited by him.
It must be quite hard though. When you're in it, do you sort of get not caught up in all of it, but I suppose, does it ultimately feel a bit like a little bubble and you forget that there's actually outside life?
Well, you do when you're in the experiment. You are absolutely in it.
Because do you have access to outside? Like, do you sort of wander off and go to the shops and meet up with your mates and stuff? No.
Look, we were advised not to hang out with other couples. That does happen.
Okay.
I did all sorts of things, especially with Andrea, the oldest bride. I think, you know, we'd meet up in parks and went to, anyway, you sort of need to for your mental health a little bit, sneak around. And they do as well on the UK version. In fact, they're a bit looser than us. Australia's quite strict on
I thought you meant, I was about to say the Aussies are way looser.
We're looser, but I feel like they're allowed to hang out a bit more. And actually, I've been really interested watching this season because there's a lot more mixing the groups together and helping each other, supporting each other, having little dates. Whereas Australia, there's not much of that happens. So weekends in Australia we have off, but I've asked the UK guys and they can film 7 days.
Yeah, really?
Like they might get a day off on Tuesday or it could be Saturday, but they're filming wraps around the week.
Yeah.
Whereas we are literally Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, but we're advised heavily just to hang out with our husband or partner and to really keep minimal on the outside world stuff. But I lent quite heavily during the experiment on really dear friends and family.
I think you'd have to.
There was lots of phone calls.
Do you...
going,
I can't do this. That would be me on the phone the whole time. Do you... I'll be honest, I prefer MAFS Australia.
A lot of people have told me they prefer MAFS Australia, but I've got to say, genuinely, I think the UK version is now on par with the Australian one this year. They've spent a lot more money on the production. The honeymoons were ridiculous.
They're obscene.
The wedding venues were just extraordinary. Like I'm talking about castles and all sorts, people arriving on
horses,
dollies and horses. And then, of course, the production, the visual feast now, whatever they've done is now on par with Australia. And I think UK is going to go strength to strength now.
Really?
Yep. I think they've caught up.
Do you think it's changed? Not the concept, because the concept's obviously the same as in from the premise of the show, but having watched it, do you think, because obviously TV changes and like when day one of Made in Chelsea is very different to how it is now, do you think that's similar with MAFS? Is there anything that's drastically changed? Or
it always evolves. I think every year they're trying on different things and new activities and ways to relate. I mean, the beautiful Charlene had a secret door into her sex den this year. You know, you sort of walked in and there was a whole lot of sex toys.
She should have had my bloody vibrator on there, Charlene.
It was like a bookshelf, you know, that you'd sort of push. And, you know, they are always experimenting with different ways. And we've got the stupidest task in Australia that they do every year, which is actually ranking the hottest from the least hottest.
Do they not do that on the UK one?
No. And thank God they don't.
It's quite a ferocious... No, because it was Wacky Jackie who went berserk over one of hers, wasn't it?
And it feels morally wrong. And when you're watching that back, and as one of the oldest brides, of course I'm bottom rung for most of it. It's awful to watch back.
No, I think that is quite... That I wouldn't agree. There are certain things I think on reality TV, like I don't know if I actually... don't watch Love Island, but I read the Daily Mail and I see it often. They have to do a task, and I think it's the girls have to do sort of sexy dances or something, which I don't agree with. I
That's
just think
very tantric.
It's a bit. I think there's something off about it, if I'm honest.
Because, I mean, if you look at the Tantra tradition, you know, Shakti, the feminine, is moving, and then the masculine essence, the signature of him, you know, at the core, or masculine essence, not even male body, but, you know, masculinity, is to hold presence, is to hold witness. So I think it's probably something around that, which is quite
well, when you say it like that, that sounds
traditional.
way better. But in my, they're coming out in like leather
Yeah.
bralettes and stuff.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's interesting. I mean, I've found the English MAFS UK welfare check and humanity first really good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah. I think for me, so far on this season, one of the more disappointing sub-stories has been watching Julia Ruth with Devani, because basically I was totally excited about this gorgeous New Zealand woman in the beginning, just this beautiful dancer and so expressive. But turns out, you know, she's been quite secretive about sleeping with Devani, her husband, and she's told him, we're not going to say anything. But behind his back, she said a couple of times, he's terrible to sleep with. I'm not sleeping with him. She's lied on the couch. She's totally manipulated this poor guy.
Yeah.
And it's humiliating. It's lying. It's not fair or reasonable. And I none of us have enjoyed that.
No, I wonder.
It's toxic behaviour.
It feels toxic. It
And
sounds
disappointing for somebody that we were like,
because you matched them. Do you remember?
Well, we did together.
We matched them. I tarnished us for both that brush. But it's because, I mean, when someone behaves like that, is there a way would the show ever step in and say, you know what, you're seeming a little bit calculated here / a little bit gaslighting?
Well, look, there is supports. There's psychologists there that you can tap into. But what they do, at the end of the day, they're there to make good television.
Well, this is the thing.
And they track the main stories. And everybody's got a choice of what comes out of their mouth. And when there's a splinter or a story or something in relationship, it's tracked. So, you know, I found being on the experiment and watching that, they really tracked the mega story. Like, the main things that happened were very fairly narrated. Like, there might be a bit of twists here or there, or, you know, they might jumble things around, but it's pretty accurate to what happens between two people.
Do you think there's more judgment on the men or the women, or it's pretty neutral in terms of both the same? Because I feel like sometimes women behave in a similar way to men, but men get called out for it a lot more than the women seem to. Like, if a man was behaving the way Julia Ruth is, people would be fucking horrified.
Well, look, people are pretty horrified and calling out Julia Ruth, and Paul was fantastic, the expert.
I love Paul.
He was like, you've got to be kidding. Like, and all the people that are sort of watching, like, the group's been really good at calling out Julia Ruth and trying to sort of slap some sense into Devani, because he's got a genuine crush. He really likes Julia Ruth. So he's sort of been trying to stick up for himself but also protect her, and a bit hopeful for the relationship.
Where do you draw the line with that? Because obviously when you were with Tim, you don't want to be disloyal to your husband partner, but then
you've got to be truthful
You've got to be truthful to the show as well.
So there's the balance as well. You know, you've got to be called out on your own stuff. You've got to be accountable. You've got to hold grace for your partner. You've also got to be honest. You've also got to hold the social mechanism of the group. Like, there's just so many dynamics happening. People don't realise how intense.
I don't think I have the brain capacity.
The intensity of it's so enormous.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of an ecology in there. Like, you're all sort of in there working together, or you know, holding up the mirror to each other. And it's also quite an incredible self-development journey. I know I do go back to that a bit. Well, everybody goes through their own growth journey within it. It's
Yeah.
quite a medicine journey.
I'm not sure how I'd take it having Paul. Well, actually, I've had it because I did a show with Paul. But I mean, to sit there, it wouldn't be easy, I imagine, for you to have thought a certain way about yourself for such a long time, and then you get into a situation like going on Married at First Sight, and everything is suddenly out in the open in terms of how you are in a relationship, and you're called out for your shit.
And how brave is that?
It is fucking ballsy.
How brave is that? Like, I just go, whoa, like, hats off to anyone that goes on for whatever which reason. But, you know, you are going to be exposed for
balls.
who you are.
Yeah. But that's why with people like Julia Ruth, I'm like, does she not think about it would come out the way she behaves? Like, I always wonder how, when people are a certain way, if they don't think, God, you know, this is all being aired, this is national television.
Well, you know, Sarah, who is with Dean, you know, gorgeous woman. I've met her. But, you know, she really got called out for gossiping behind Dean's back.
I didn't like that.
Well, yeah, you've got to sort of advocate for your partner or own up and just say, I'm out, you know. There's a bit of a fine line, isn't there? I mean, I've sort of... Yeah, it's interesting, the choices people make.
I know, because actually that's where it started going when everyone was more on probably Julia Ruth's side, is when Devani was saying how good things were because he was trying to keep the united front, and she was going around telling everyone actually it wasn't all good, even though they'd spoken about it before.
I think if it's anything that a lot of people learn going on this show is maybe more self-awareness, like thinking maybe before they speak, and because sometimes the cameras disappear, they just drip away. Like you're deeply in a relationship with other on the couch, whoever it is that you're with, in your apartment, you know.
Are they in their apartments? Are they handheld or is it fixed?
They'll come in with a tripod. There'll be one with a handheld. The dinner party is quite interesting.
Yeah.
You really do feel like you're in a bit of a dinner party. They've got hidden cameras everywhere and, you know, it all sort of happens quickly.
So it's very real.
Very interesting in Australia, sometimes it would be a 16-hour day, the dinner party days. You'd start in the morning getting ready, of course, and then you'd sort of drip feed in. You'd be held in like a little encampment of tents, like marquees before you went on. And then by the time you get in there, you know, you've got the cocktail party, the dinner party. Sometimes you wouldn't get home till 3, 4 a.m.
You must have been knackered.
So we quickly realised as a cast that the quicker that we got out the issues, pointed the fingers...
You could get it done and get home.
Get it done and get home.
Because then also...
By the end of the show, we're all out by midnight, you know.
Make sure you say that point now.
High-fiving each other.
Because it's so long, I would imagine one would be quite delirious after 5 hours of sitting, listening to the same rubbish. People sort of forget who they are a bit.
And it's just unbelievable as the sort of booze happens and the occasional glug, glug, glug.
Yeah,
like, you just watch people. I mean... You just watch it. Like, I'd half the time be getting a cranked neck from playing ping pong, just listening to these fireball of a tempers.
One drink in.
I've never had dinner parties with anything like it in my life.
Really?
But it is fascinating people watching, and just to watch all the different communication styles, because some people are so fiery, but also... so impassioned and actually right.
Yeah.
Like they really can see it and call it out. Like that's not my style. I'm probably a bit more relaxed and kicked back. Like half the time I'd be down the end of the dinner party just watching, to be honest.
See, I'm actually more
not
like
involved.
That.
Yeah.
But I think I took over a persona of the person in the middle screaming and shouting, throwing drinks at everyone. Did you drink on it?
No drinks for me. And occasionally they'd sort of thrust me on the middle seat in the middle of like mega drama. And, you know, I'd just be trying my best to sort of mediate or you know, share a little bit there. But yeah, look, I mean, gosh, I've got my own issues, pass the tissues, don't we all? But yeah, it's not for me getting
involved,
absolutely whacked up with alcohol. And throwing...
No, I think that's 100% the right thing. I wish I sort of told myself that a few years ago.
Throwing spade on people and pointing out what they should be doing in relationship. I just, yeah, more my gift was heckling on the couch, which you never saw, but just throwing in a silly comment here and there just to sort of get a couple of cheap giggles out of it.
And keep it slightly lighthearted.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good vibe. Okay, we have got some listener dilemmas and confessions.
Bless.
So let me know what you think about this. What is a major red flag on a first date?
I think people going straight into their sob stories, talking...
I agree on this, by the way.
Sob stories, excessively talking about themselves, poorly talking about an ex, and maybe about their ailments and what's wrong. I want a light-hearted, fun, easy banter. I want to feel elevated. And if anyone's going to be a bit of a time bandit and a succubus of energy... where I'm like, get me the hell out of here. To me, that's the immediate red flag. Any of the above.
100%. No, it's so
and bad
true, though.
hygiene.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I think mine would be being rude to waiters. Really upsets me. It makes me so angry. And table manners, I have to say.
Sloppy jalops.
Sloppy. Oh, no.
Sloppy
Chewing with your mouth
jalops.
open. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Okay. If a guy states he doesn't want a girlfriend, but then continues to want the girlfriend experience of date nights, talking every day, staying over, planning trips, etc., is he a red flag?
That sounds great.
Yeah, why?
Just doesn't want the title. Perfect. I think, look, I mean, whatever. I think if you're really enjoying somebody and all of those beautiful aspects, like what a joy, what a gift. Just enjoy it. Do you really need...
I think we all need to not rush everything.
Yeah.
Everything is rushed. And I think people need to just take it slow and experience the...
Absolutely. I think enjoy the experience, enjoy the magic, be present. That's the best thing we can give to ourselves, is be in the now.
And not the next step. Everyone always wants the next bit and not actually enjoying the
And I think that'll emerge naturally, whether it's in 6 months, 1 year. It doesn't really matter. Like, why give it a timestamp?
Yeah.
But if dates are happening and you're enjoying each other and having stay overnights, just enjoy the ride. Don't go chasing the shadows.
Yeah, it's very true. Very wise. I'm 30 and haven't had a girlfriend in years, as I keep getting ghosted by women I meet online dating apps, and I'm fed up with feeling like a joke amongst my mates, who are mostly settled down now. How can I make girls find me more attractive, and how can I chat up a girl in real life? Any tips?
Beautiful, like good on him, and like blessings to you, brother, because I think you're not alone in that. A lot of people experience that. Like ghosting is prolific in the online dating scene. And my intuition on this is that he just needs to keep developing himself, being the best that he can be, and actually opening up his social circles, getting out there in real time, whether that's joining salsa lessons and dancing with the women in the concentric circles, or going out to some speed dating events, or, you know, just meeting different people. And just trying some really basic methods like eye contact and smiling, like being lit up by women that you're attracted to on the streets. You know, just saying hello, like being brave, finding the courage out there in the world. Yeah. Maybe just getting off the apps altogether. Because, I mean, I even know for myself that A, I don't like who I become. B, it's just hopeless, logistics, and it's just not for me, dating apps. And I think probably he's a little bit the same, this fella. And I think the effort leaning into real-time experience and being a bit braver and holding your head high, standing in sacred ground and being proud of who you are, and just, you know, opening yourself up, your energetic field, to meeting new people is just the best way to go. And 30, my God, you've got so much time to develop that skill of you know, doing that. The more that we can do that, the better.
When are you releasing your tour dates?
So I'll probably be releasing my next book early next year, and maybe, like, I'm probably going to tour around June, July. I'm going to slip a couple of festivals in there, and I think it won't be till sort of, I don't know, probably March, April next year.
Okay. And where can one buy your book at the moment?
It's, well, you know, you can follow me on Lucinda Light, my Instagram, Amazon seller, there's bookstores, you know, you can find it all over. Just Google it, Shine Your Light, Lucinda Light.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on Private Parts. That was wonderful.
Liv, thanks so much for having me. You're so gorgeous. I enjoy hanging out with you.
Oh, you are as well. I feel very positive now. Thank you.
Yeah.